Hi everyone, I'm Echo. You may have noticed something interesting happening on YouTube recently. A growing wave of new creators from mainland China is arriving on the platform. To be honest, I'm one of them. I spent 15 years working in film and television post-production and video editing, and now I've become a YouTuber too. For people living in mainland China, accessing YouTube is not exactly easy. We have to find ways around an invisible internet barrier just to get here. But what is driving so many people to cross that barrier is often more than curiosity or a personal hobby. Behind it lies something much heavier, the pressure of real life. People are searching for a way out, or at least a possible opening, even if that path is filled with uncertainty. Today, I want to talk about this growing trend. I've summarized 6 major reasons behind it. To understand this trend, you first need to understand what many young people in China are going through today. Competition in the workplace has become incredibly intense, while salaries often fail to keep up with rising rent and everyday living costs. A few years ago, a graduate with a master's degree from a prestigious university might have landed a well-paid job at a major tech company, complete with a strong base salary and stock options. Today, even in China's biggest cities, many young employees work overtime until 9 at night, only to earn around 8,000 to 10,000 yuan a month. After paying for rent, transportation, and meals, there is often very little left. Some people have to rely on credit cards or consumer loans just to make it through the month. We jokingly call ourselves Dagong Grin, ordinary workers struggling to get by. We're afraid to get sick. We're afraid to get married. It's not that we don't want a decent life. It's that simply surviving already takes almost everything we have. And the scariest question is this: what happens if you suddenly lose your job or your salary gets cut? For many ordinary people, the fallback options seem to be limited to 3 jobs: food delivery, parcel delivery, or driving for a ride-hailing service. People sometimes call these the working-class triathlon. These jobs are physically exhausting, and the income is no longer what it used to be. More importantly, even these industries are now overcrowded. The safety net is full, and it is starting to overflow. For many people, it feels as though there is almost nowhere left to retreat. In the past, most creators focused entirely on domestic Chinese platforms, where competition has become brutally intense. But now, more people are discovering YouTube. After overcoming all the barriers required to reach this platform, it can feel like someone at the bottom of a well finally catching a glimpse of the open sky. On one hand, YouTube gives us access to a global audience. Many international viewers are genuinely curious about what everyday life in China is really like. On the other hand, YouTube is not simply an escape from China's exhausting culture of competition. Its real appeal is that it gives ordinary people a chance to build a tiny business of their own and connect directly with the rest of the world. For many young creators, it begins as a side hustle. Most of us are not expecting to become rich overnight. We just want to give it a try, and if it brings in a little extra money to support our families, even better. For many people, it offers a kind of hope that did not seem possible before. People often ask, do international viewers really care about the everyday lives of ordinary Chinese people? The answer is yes. Many viewers are not looking for grand political narratives or polished news stories. They are curious about the small, specific details of real life. What do we eat every day? What does a market in a small Chinese town look like? Is it safe to walk alone at night? You do not need a huge production team to document these things. You do not even need to speak fluent English. All you really need is a smartphone and AI-generated subtitles. Sometimes, the less polished and more authentic a video feels, the more powerful it becomes. Instead of stereotypes or official promotional content, Overseas viewers want to experience one ordinary day in the life of a real person in China. Just a few years ago, the idea of an ordinary person creating English language content for a global audience would have sounded almost impossible. But AI tools have completely changed the rules. Instant translation and automatically generated bilingual subtitles mean that language is no longer an impossible barrier. At the same time, more young people have learned how to access international platforms. They are no longer limited to watching global content. They can now speak directly to audiences around the world. The spread of these technologies has lowered the barrier to becoming a global creator more than ever before. From the outside, modern China is often associated with drones, robot dogs, advanced factories, and booming live-stream e-commerce. All of those things are real, and they are impressive, but they are only one side of the story. Take the city where I live, for example. It may produce components for companies such as Apple and Tesla, but it is also home to many young people who left school early and entered factories simply to earn a living. They may make only 5,000 or 6,000 yuan a month, and they have to work endless overtime just to save a small amount of money. In the very same city, one person may be developing cutting-edge artificial intelligence, while another spends every day tightening screws on an assembly line. Technology is carrying some people rapidly into the future, while leaving others terrified that they are about to be replaced or forgotten. For those people, YouTube offers an unusually accessible opportunity. It does not care about your academic background. It does not require powerful connections, and it does not demand much startup capital. To be honest, most ordinary people starting YouTube channels are not dreaming of becoming rich. Their most realistic goal may be to earn an extra 2,000 or 3,000 yuan a month, roughly 300 to 500 US dollars. But in a smaller Chinese city, that amount can cover a family's grocery bill or pay for a child's extracurricular class. More importantly, it is income that you control yourself. You do not have to please a boss. You do not have to clock in, and you are not tied to a specific workplace or location. If the channel succeeds, it is a welcome surprise. If it fails, the main thing you lose is time. And for many ordinary people today, time may be one of the few things they still have. Even if they have no easy way to turn it into income, that small feeling of having some control over your own future can be more valuable than the few $100s itself. People often praise those of us who build side hustles for being hardworking, but that word feels too gentle. A more honest and more painful way to put it is this: we are afraid to stop. China's social safety net is gradually improving, but for many ordinary families, one serious illness or one sudden layoff can still become an unbearable financial blow. That is why you may see a food delivery rider studying video editing tutorials late at night after finishing a full day of work. You may see a mother put her child to sleep, then stay up editing videos until the early hours of the morning. It is not because people are naturally in love with hardship. It is because they fear that if they do not keep running today, they may not even have a place to stand tomorrow. For many of us, YouTube is no longer just a side hustle. It is a small piece of ground we can call our own, a personal safety zone in a future filled with uncertainty and change. If you are interested in this real and resilient group of people, or if you want to see what everyday life in China is truly like, please subscribe to my channel. I'm Echo. See you in the next video.